Today is Saturday, September 28th, 2024. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the listener feedback show for Survivor 47, Week 2.
Week 2, yeah. How many super fans do we have?
Well, about 20, I think.
Yeah. Excited to talk about all the things that we saw. We had great tribe time. I got a lot of comments on that. Looking forward to digging into people's assessments, what they saw, what they learned about the castaways. Starting to get to know them a little better. Before we dig in, just a point of business for the next month.
Yeah, about that.
We are going through a period where we may not be able to publish on the regular schedules. So we just wanted to give you a heads up. There could be some uncertainty when we get the shows out.
Yeah, we're going to try to get everything out, and everything will still be due on this at the same time. But for at least the next 3 to 4 Saturdays, it may not come out on Saturday. You do need to have it in by noon, but we may be delayed in getting it out till Sunday, possibly Monday sometimes. But so it won't be the regular, it's going to show up in your feed at about the time it does every week, because it's going to be delayed probably. So
yeah, we don't know exactly what we're dealing with in terms of the timeline, so we're just trying to give a heads up. It could impact the recaps too. Mm-hmm. So just FYI.
It'll be a little more challenging for the next month, and then we'll hopefully be back on regular.
All right, with that business out of the way, let's jump into the fun. First up, we got a call from Pete.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston calling you. Oh, my Atlanta. That yellow team somehow won with Banu Zombie Andy. So let me let out a great big woo! Damn! Woo! Wow. Can you believe it? Who would have thought yellow not only would win, but they would finish first place and get their Flint back? And look at all that happened. But first, guys, I'd be remiss. I thought blue was a strong team, and they were the team that ended up seeing Probst at Tribal Council number 2. And who gets voted out? Well, all I'm going to say is what goes around comes around, and when you're cocky, that's what happens. And TK sadly got his torch snuffed. Oh, I wonder what his interviews are going to be like tomorrow. I wonder if he regrets anything, if he looked at himself in the mirror. That was horrible. I mean, he had his boy Kyle. I mean, Kyle dealt with him, but look, Gabe wanted nothing to do with him, and Gabe had better ties with Sue and Caroline. And Tiana, that was a huge shock. Honestly, the way the edit looked, I thought Tiana might flip, but I also thought it might be a misdirect, and it could be a tie, and then a revote and all this, and who knows, we might have seen rocks, but she flipped the script. But the one good thing you could say is, for whatever reason, Gabe played his idol, and it was a waste because he didn't need to. So now we'll see how vulnerable he is, or if he keeps looking again. All right, real quick with the other teams. Red team somehow won again, and everyone thought that might be the weaker team. But Rome, you better watch out, and you're lucky you have the idol, because you're public enemy number 1 on that team. Teeny is sketchy. Genevieve is in the middle there. Keyshawn, I mean, I like Keyshawn more than I thought. Right now, we'll see if Red keeps winning, and good luck to Rome. And Yellow, how about that idol search there? Andy giving up on the Beware advantage and passing out and looking like a goofy dope. And then, who finds it? It's Sam. Well, first it was Sam and Annika, right? Because Annika thought it would make him more of a threat. But little does Annika know he's closer with Sierra. So we'll see now. I think Annika, if that team loses again the way it looks, Andy might be speared and Annika might be on the chopping block. Rachel, I don't know, Rachel is on the other side there too. So we'll see how it goes. Rachel seems closer with Annika, but I don't think that's going to bode well. But what a good episode, though. Very, very good. A lot of tribe dynamics, so we saw a lot of strategy, and a lot during the challenge, too, like Probst catching Rachel with the rice there. That was hilarious. But I'll see if there's any good extra clips. Maybe there'll be a night after tribal extra clip of the yellow team, because we didn't see it in the episode, and hear TK's interviews. All right, guys, take care. Great episode. Woo.
Whoa. Yes, they do have an right after tribal with the Gada tribe, an extra one. You can see it on Survivor on CBS on YouTube is one place where they had it. And it's exactly what you would expect. Andy's excited. He thanks him and then promptly falls asleep, and they strategize how to manage Andy and how to deal with him and what he represents in the game. It's worth a watch. It definitely is. TK's exit interviews, there's a different story going on. I'm not sure that it's revisionist stuff. He's got a different angle on what we saw in the edit versus how things were really playing out. And that does happen sometimes because they work actively to shape the story to make it interesting and work towards whatever their objective is. And
so what did he have to say?
It's tricky because you can tell his perception of things is different.
Is his perception.
Right. And so, he's not owning it the way you would want. He's still sort of playing it in the less humble way that he came across. But at the same time, he's saying, look, this is how that sequence of events went down in that discussion with Tiana. It wasn't just me saying, you come to me if there's a problem. Do you understand? Kind of thing. He said it was based on another sequence, and he described some other interactions with Gabe, and it sort of helps make Gabe's play of the idol make more sense too, because they were coming at Gabe.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was interesting, different, and it's one of those where I wasn't sure what to make of it at the end. It's like, well, there's this version, there's that version. What are somewhere in the middle in different places, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes they play out that way. It just depends on.
And I don't know if it matters at this
in the scheme of things.
He's
Overall impact in the game, it does not. And I'm sure they feel way more leeway early on with how they're managing it than towards the end sometimes. Good stuff. Thanks, Pete. Next up, we got a call from Christiana.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Christiana from Massachusetts calling in with my feedback for Season 47, Episode 2. I loved the episode. I thought that the blindside of TK was one of the more noteworthy pre-merge blindsides we've had in a while. And as the viewer, I was really surprised. I did not think Tiana was going to go with the Sue, Caroline, Gabe side of things. And I'm not even saying that was necessarily the right call, but maybe in the end it's better to cut TK now versus to be aligned with someone who's really disliked and arguably toxic, either on this tribe or in the merge tribe if they get that far. I felt like she really wanted to work with him strategy-wise and acknowledge that she didn't like him personally and maybe let that side of her win out. Or maybe she decided that ultimately that was the more strategic move. And I really did like her relationship with Kyle, and I think they could be a really strong duo. And although Kyle was left out of the vote at this point on a tribe of 5 and he's on the bottom, he has nowhere to go. So I wonder if that was part of her calculation that like she can make up with Kyle, because what choice does he really have? And then in terms of Gabe playing the idol, I was wondering the same thing if he just wanted to burn it at that point, even though he took the risk for the 3 tribal councils. But I thought he was going to play it for Sue and it was going to be this cool moment because I didn't think Tiana was voting with them. But I guess he just wanted the extra assurance, or maybe like you were saying, he just wanted it gone and protect him should anything else like fishy have been going on. And speaking of fish, I had the same thought about Andy and the knife in the challenge. I was like, okay, this is frightening, but good for Gada for winning that challenge in strong fashion. And like I said in the previous week's feedback, as much as I love John Lovett, the tribe was fully functional without him, and it was almost like he was never there.
Point.
Sorry, John. But, he was a lot older than them and different in a lot of ways, so they just kind of blended better, I guess, with the 5. And I thought that Sam's whole performance and everything he did around the idol was also really wise, and he played it well, and he played connecting with Andy well, and knowing that keeping him comfortable was good. And I actually am kind of into his idea, even though I feel like Andy's going to melt down and it's going to be hard to watch, of saving Andy, making that move. Andy will be indebted to him, them getting rid of either Annika or Rachel, whichever one they don't want around. I thought Rachel saving the rice in her shorts was hilarious, and that they should have let her do it, because if they didn't say you can't, then you should be able to. Yeah, it was a great episode. I also really enjoyed the tribe dynamics. That red tribe, oof, there's going to be some conflicts of personality there for sure. But like Teeny said, there's not a lot they can do about it because Rome has an idol. But now I feel like the tribes are really evenly matched, and I'm excited to see where the season goes. Have a great week. Bye.
Excellent. I like that. Some good observations there. Thanks, Christiana. Next up, we got an email from Lisa Rae from the UAE.
So, first confession. I actually did put picks in on week 1. I had observed. But with my brain fog, I mistook reflecting and changing what I chose initially with not choosing picks at all. If that made sense, please let me know how it does.
I don't know if I can help it make sense, but I can tell you.
We relate to this.
Well, no, I can tell you that it definitely it was bugging Joanne, because she comes running in the room at one point and saying, how did she get 6 points?
You had to have.
This was a couple of days ago, by the way.
I know. It's like, I have to stop. I'm in the middle of doing all this stuff. And it's like, I have to stop and go look that up, because that doesn't make any sense. Because it's like, yes, she's in the bottom, but she has 6 points. You can't get 6 points if you didn't
make picks.
Yeah. It's like, so I went in and I saw that, okay. Oh, I'm not crazy.
See the quandary, Lisa Rae, that you created?
Back to Lisa Rae. Anyways, I'm in the basement. Some of the decorations are still on the wall from the last time I spent the season here, so I'm comfy.
Nice.
I'm enjoying the season, but I have no idea who will be voted out next. I'm surprised with the TK vote out. He was strength for the tribe. So we'll see what happens this week. This vote out makes me worried for my winner pick, Kyle. I wonder if Gabe played his idol to get it out of the way so he's not a threat. Too many people knew about the idol. Why not burn it and be less of a threat? Maybe he'll be able to find another idol and keep it secret. I am really looking forward to hearing all your thoughts about next week, because I really don't know. I'm having a tough time predicting anything this season. Thank you, Joanna Stacy, for all you do, and thanks to all y'all for your valuable insights.
Thank you, Lisa Rae.
Yes, absolutely. And thank goodness. And I could see me doing that. I do weird things like that where my brain says one thing and then it's
deleted.
And a lot of times I don't even catch it. You catch it. You'll say, honey, you meant, and I'm like, of course that's what I meant. You know what I meant.
Why are you translating?
Not what I said, but...
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Lisa Rae. Next up, we got a call from Robert.
Hey, Joanna, Stacy, and Survivor fans. This is Robert from Canada calling in. I hope that everyone enjoyed this week's episode. For me, I thought it was another strong one and a really good demonstration of what an hour-and-a-half episode should feel like. We got a lot of insight into the tribe dynamics and different relationships, and I really enjoyed it. I can hardly wait for Pete's farewell to TK. I myself was happy to see TK go, and I'm not a huge fan. His whole speech after the challenge I found to be really, really dumb. No one's okay with losing. You're not the best competitor to ever live, and I was really excited to see TK go home, so farewell, bro. Gabe, on the other hand, I thought had a pretty good episode. I think his move to play his idol for himself at Tribal was really smart. I thought at first he was going to play it for Sue, but it makes more sense to play it for himself, especially if they go to Rocks. And by not playing on anybody else, he didn't show all his cards of who's in his alliance and how strong it is. So I'm excited to see where Gabe goes in this game. I was really high on Sam I think, in episode 1, but episode 2, I'm a little bit less excited for him. It sucks that his idol is sort of public knowledge at this point, but I was a little bit surprised that when it was just him and Sierra at the box and they found out about a possibility of extending his idol, that he didn't do it. If everyone already knows about your idol anyway, and it's only your number 1 there, why wouldn't you want to make your idol more worthwhile? Like, I don't really understand, especially when you're in a pretty good position in the tribe. So maybe he felt vulnerable because everyone already knew about his idol, but I think in the moment it would have made sense to try to extend it. Maybe I'm misinterpreting that, but especially because it was just Sierra there. So for next week, as far as who's going to go home or what my prediction is, I think if you were to poll most people based on the edit and what we're seeing, who is most vulnerable, I think a lot of us would have to say that Rome is not getting a very favorable edit, and I would also like to see Rome go home based on his antics similar to TK. So anyway, that's my prediction for now, but I look forward to everyone else's feedback and who they think is going to go home. And that's it for me. You guys just take care.
Excellent. Thanks, Robert. I like your theory. That one seems very solid. The idea that he played it in case it did go to rocks so that he would be immune. So he's going to dodge that bullet because there was definitely rock talk happening prior to tribal council.
Yeah, Sue very much so. Yep, I'll go to rocks. No problem.
And they might have had that discussion since she appeared to maintain so adamant about that. And it didn't show his hand with Sue publicly. So he still got that under wraps, the Wounded Bird Alliance. So, yeah, I think Robert really nailed it with that. So it looks incredibly savvy now. I initially just thought burn it, get a fresh start, make sure you're here for the fresh start.
And one thing with Sam, he was juggling all those people for different sections trying to pull them in. I don't think he could keep that up any longer. I mean, he was bound to get exposed, and I don't see how he won't get exposed now since he tried to make each one in this segment no special your help. But if it got out that he did further and didn't tell, then his cover's blown.
Well, I want to see what happened. He set up a powder keg with Andy because he got the idol that Andy had initially found. And so when he plays it, Andy's going to be like, "You son of a gun, you." And then where's his mind going to spiral to on that?
Well, he could also tell Andy that, well, I didn't want to tell you, but
I did it to protect
I planned to use it for us, but I didn't want you to get upset, and so I just didn't tell you so it wouldn't upset you.
Maybe.
But, and I wanted to surprise you with it if I thought the girls were coming after you because I was going to play it for you. But
it's insurance for you, Andy.
Andy
I did
may
it all
not
for
buy
you.
that, but he might too.
Given what we've seen, yeah, I'd say it's possible. Good job, Robert. Next up, we got a call from Rebecca.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Rebecca calling from Maine with my feedback for week 2. I don't know if you could hear the rain outside my little cabin, but it is raining very hard in Maine right now. Great episode last night, and it was really lovely to get to start to really ascertain everybody's individual personalities. We have a lot of personalities in this cast. Let's start with Blue. It was funny when I was making my picks, I just intuitively could not put a safe pick on anyone on the blue team. I couldn't figure out why, and then about, 5 minutes before we're going to be shut out of JSFL, I thought, oh, it's because someone from blue's going out. And then I picked TK. And I didn't pick him for any particular reason, but that Tiana's my USB. I wasn't going to pick her. I like Carolyn and Sue's personalities. I like the way Carolyn, Gabe, and Sue are working together. And I just really like Kyle. I just like looking at his picture. And so TK was the odd man out. But how interesting, when I went and watched the episode, he was kind of strong-arming everybody. He had such an attitude, and he was reminding me of Q in that way that he just forcefully threw his weight around kind of attitude. And what was interesting to me was just because he didn't know what the other alliances were, he thought there were no other alliances. That was so self-indulgent to me. I don't know if self-indulgent is the right word. It was just, hey, Gabe, you got to really make some inroads with getting to know other people. And Gabe's totally in with Caroline and Sue, TK doesn't know that, so he assumes Gabe has no alliances. So I was glad to see him go. I felt like he was just playing with too much attitude, and you can't do that on Survivor because then they vote you out. Yellow team, Andy, wah, wah. I'm just going to put this Beware advantage to the side for a minute because I don't want to look at it yet. And then, oh, boom, Sam comes along, swipes it. It's interesting to me how the players, a lot of them are, let's just keep it at the one. We'll just play it the one time. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I see some sparks between Sam and Sierra, and I really like Sam. I loved when he was about to win the challenge, when he was like, stop, stop, stop. Who wants fish tonight? Ba-boom. And we win. I thought that was pretty cool. I like Annika very much, and I like Rachel very much. I would have stolen the rice too. But I see trouble in paradise for Annika because Sam and Sierra, they are a very big pair. And Andy, they might want to drag along like a goat. And I don't know where that's going to leave Annika. Red team, totally cool. But Rome, again, being the show-off, the standout, the look at me, it's all about me guy, not going to take you very far. It's turning everybody off. Teeny's not into it. Asia's not into it. I didn't really, again, get to know Christiana and Saul very much because I guess Rome was too busy showboating. Anyway, great episode. People are starting to come into focus, starting to understand who everybody is. And I got full points, baby. Yay. Thank you, Joanne and Stacy. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
Congrats on your pick. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Johnny.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Johnny calling you from Wisconsin. I've actually been on and off watcher of Survivor since 2008, but have not missed an episode in the last 5 years. I just found your podcast 2 weeks ago, so hey, another listener for you guys. But no, on to the actual week 2 of 47. What we have here is obviously so much going on. I'm really enjoying it so far, really. I think the cast is pretty likable. But yeah, I mean, talk about no love for Saul. The guy has got, 7 seconds of airtime between the last 2 episodes? What's up with that? I don't know anything about the guy yet. And man, it looks like things are getting sticky for Sam. He's using a little too much glue out there. Hey, you can be a glue guy, but when you keep going back and forth, people are eventually going to see that, and we get a little peek of that in the scenes from our next episode. But I don't know. Sam and Rome, both of them were so conservative with the idol hunting. I mean, if you're already including half the tribe, if not 3/4 of the tribe, in on your idol, why would you just use it for one? You just can't stand the target on you? I don't know. At that point, if I were them, I would have at least gone for the 3, if not all the way to final 5 idol, and say, hey guys, this is for our tribe. If you're going to include everybody, then you may as well go for a really big shot, see if you can get like some true deep alliances using that idol. The only reason why you'd quit after one tribal, I feel like, is if you're all alone, you don't want to look like Gabe tumbling a box down a mountain. Fine. That's probably the time you go just for one. You don't want to make a scene. But the fact that they already all knew, it's like, I don't know why you played that so conservative. I mean, honestly, I think Teeny's really surprising me. She seemed to gain the trust immediately of Rome and other people. She just really is fitting in well. I feel like she's doing well. But I'm kind of worried about Caroline, honestly. Not only because Blue Tribe just lost TK, but she just didn't, I don't know why. She didn't seem to play as well as I thought in the social aspect. She just immediately turned down Gabe to his face. I'm like, okay, it's one thing if you don't want to work with the guy behind his back, but then you just tell him to his face, like, I'm not really feeling it. Like, what is that? I'm kind of worried about her. So honestly, I'm thinking she might go next. But hey, obviously it's a show. They make you think so many things and then they completely change everything. Just look at Andy. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate hearing your feedback.
Thanks, Johnny. Good job. Welcome to the podcast.
All right.
Next up, we got an email from Tara in New York. Hello, Joanne and Stacy and fellow fans. Another week, another great episode. I've had a crazy few weeks after an unfortunate run-in with a deer that totaled my car. Oh, my goodness. I'm lucky to have an old car to put on the road, but I'll be headed back to the DMV for the 3rd time this coming week. Sheesh. I haven't had as much time to think about Survivor in the last few days, but still have some thoughts. I was yelling, no, at my TV when Teeny, my USB, was caught red-handed showing Kashan the box. I'm hoping her social skills will get her by, though, for now. I'm also surprised she didn't bring Aisha along. It will be really interesting to see what happens when this tribe goes to tribal council. I wonder if they could even trick Rome into playing his idol for someone else and blindside him. Ooh, that would be great. He does want to make big moves, so I could actually see it happening. He's still hilarious to watch. I'm happy that Andy may have unintentionally helped himself by leaving the Beware advantage for Sam to find. We can't count on him. We can't count him out yet, since he's not considered to be a threat, and Sam seems to want to bring him further in the game. Sam looks good, too, as long as he can manage all of the relationships he has formed. I think the Blue Tribe may be headed back to Tribal again after voting out TK. I'm still not a big Gabe fan, but he's done a great job reeling in Sue along with possibly Carolyn and Tiana without anyone realizing his strategy or connections. I wonder what will happen when the idol is re-hidden this week. If he is obviously hunting again, I hope the girls will catch on to how dangerous he is and go on the offensive. On that note, did anyone else notice the Indiana Jones reference he made at Tribal? I did. It popped right out at me because I remember Jeff mentioning Indiana Jones in the pregame and just thought it was odd. I hope that's not a hint to our winner. I'm hoping Jeff is just going for a theme. Haha. We are learning so much about all these players, but it seems like we still don't know where the definitive lines will be drawn long term. It will be exciting to see in the next few episodes. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy. I can't wait to hear from the rest of the fans. It's been unpredictable so far, and a vote out point sometime would be great. Looking forward to all the predictions and feedback. Have a fantastic week, everyone. Thanks, Tara. I hope your week goes much, much better.
I agree. It would be nice to get a vote-off point.
Next up, we got a call from Cameron.
Hey, Joanna, Stacy, and Survivor fans. This is Cameron from North Carolina calling in with some Week 2 listeners' feedback. For the first time in 7 years of doing this calling in, I am looking at Paul's visual roster, and man, this is a help. Thank you, Paul. Starting out with Lavo, I think Aisha's in a pretty good position. Keyshawn and Teeny seem to be pretty good off. I don't see much of Genevieve or Saul so far, so I can't really make a read on either of them. Rome, however, is the only one I would say is in the hot seat on that tribe, seemingly. But it makes it hard to tell who would go home because if he does catch wind that he should use his idol, I'm sure he will. So who's to say what happens on Lavo? It's kind of hard so far. With regard to Tuku, I think Caroline is in a nice spot. As my USB, I am pretty pleased with it so far. She seems to be playing the middle role pretty well. And the way the sides are on that tribe, I think she's fine, honestly, right now. The whole concept that Sue was bringing up of the bro down factor, I wasn't sure if I got that or not, but she definitely did cite TK's masculinity and his intimidating presence as being a factor as to why she wanted to see him leave. I will say, with experience in my own life, someone I'm close to has been perceived as very masculine and very tall and intimidating and whatnot, even though this person's really sweet, kind-hearted, and not like that at all. And so I have witnessed it before where people, especially masculine people, tall people, are perceived as intimidators when really that's not the case. And maybe it was the case with TK. Just an observation I was making while I was watching, because who's to really say what was going on there? When you got to Tribal Council, it seemed like there was not a true bro down going on at all, because Kyle did not seem to put it together that the guys were a threesome in any way. So maybe it was a factor. Maybe it wasn't. I just hope for TK's sake that he wasn't put off by any of the reasons he was sent home. Gata is such a wild mess right now. Andy was one of the quietest over there this week, surprisingly. Sam was doing a lot more than I was expecting him to. He found the idol. He shared it with literally everyone except Andy, who was the only one who knew that it was there in the first place. I don't know if Andy leaving it was a bad strategy or not, because the beware advantage can hinder your game. So him leaving it there did not put me off in any way. I thought it was not that dumb, honestly. Unfortunately for him, though, he does not have that idol, and Sam does. Well, I look forward to everyone else's feedback this week. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thanks, Cameron.
It could have been too much stress for Andy.
Yes.
Really.
Probably best to dodge it.
Yeah.
And it looks like it may break his way after all. So that's interesting now that he could know that or factor it in that regard. One of the things that TK said in his exit interview, it started popping back in my head through the last two listener feedbacks, was that in the challenge, he ended up arguing with Gabe because it took 3 people to maneuver the ball over the snake maze. And he said from where he was, they kept dropping at the same point over and over and over again. And he was trying to tell Gabe that that he could see the way around it. But Gabe was adamant and just basically shut him down and said, look, I'm the one in the middle. I'm making the calls. So, and then TK had to back off with that. And of course that didn't set well with TK, and that was part of maybe the primary reason they lost at the end. And that was other factors in terms of Gabe being on the hot seat there. But to Christiana and some of the other points, that could be to their detriment if Gabe keeps messing them up like that. Not that he was doing it on purpose. He just didn't have the perspective and wasn't willing to work together. He wanted to be the one in charge and calling.
To TK's perception.
Well, and we did see some of that in the episode, too. Good deal. Thanks, Cameron. Next up, we got a call from Anderson.
Hey, Joanne and Stacey. This is Anderson from North Carolina calling with my feedback for week 2. All right, so my thoughts on the episode. I don't really have any big stuff on the episode besides that it surprised me that TK got voted out. My USB Sam found an idol. It's good. He has title lines with Sierra. Actually, I did want to see Sam pull Andy so they could get rid of Annika, because I had Annika voted out, but I didn't expect Goddard to win. Next week, I think Goddard might win again, and I think Lavo will go to tribal council, but it's also a high chance that Tuku will go, and I actually think they will get Gabe, because we didn't hear from Tuku in the next time on Survivor. We just saw Sue and Caroline jumping off the thing in the water challenge. I think that's probably it. But hey, I'm doing the side challenge. I'm doing well. Got 8 points in second place. So until next time, bye.
All right. Good job, Anderson. Next up, we got a call from David.
Hey, Joe and Stacy. This is David in Pittsburgh. Well, what can I say? I thought I would revenge watch the rest of the season because of the way Gata got rid of John by USB. And I figured every week I'd get to cheer as each Yellow Tribe member got voted off. But what do you know? They pulled it off. And by the way, it looked like Annika was helpful in keeping Sam focused because he kept yelling at her and not listening to her. Okay, I get it. They're going to be around for a while, but I do have mixed feelings about the way they're treating Andy. They are giving Academy Award performances over him opening a coconut, and yet he's basking in all the attention, but I can't help feeling bad for him, how he must be feeling when he's watching it. It is cringeworthy. I don't like inauthentic players. I know that you have to lie and every so often, but all 4 of them putting up this big act in front of him doesn't make me feel good. And it's funny how cocky the men are, so many of the men are this early in the game. It cost TK his slot, and we see that Sam feels like he's calling all the shots, and then there's Rome, who's playing whatever he's playing. It doesn't look like checkers to me. And even Gabe talking about his wounded birds and how if he brings them to the final 3, he'll be able to just get that check for $1 million. So I just feel too early, too soon, too cocky, you got to go. Often we see in Survivor where a character will say in their confessional, this vote off of my number 1 man has gotten me awake and I'm now going to start playing the game. Usually you hear them say that it was like the second to the last episode, but at least for Kyle, he sees it. He was kind of walking through this with his eyes closed, and maybe now he's going to do something a little more than just sort of follow along. And another thing I like is the final walk to tribal council when you're hearing all the thoughts about who's going to go, and they slow it down so you're watching them begin their walk in slow-mo as the camera goes on different faces. I love that part. Well, I have a big question this week, so maybe somebody can answer me. Why is Sam walking around in the jungle in his yellow socks without shoes on? His socks are filthy. I don't understand it. And on that note, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
That's funny.
Sock approach to the jungle, huh? Okay, good stuff. Thanks, David. Next up, we got an email from Jack in California.
You get an idol, and so do you. And you. Oh, shoot. Everybody knows about it. What a crazy idol episode we had here for just being the second episode in. That's the problem about idols these days, is that it seems most players can't keep it to themselves, and we saw what happened in each scenario. For Lavo, Rome has been causing chaos in his idol searching, and it was pretty obvious to everyone his mistake was telling and showing Teeny where the idol box was, and in return, she showed Kashar, and they got caught. If I was in that position and knew where the key was, I might take the idol for myself. Gada's tribe is still quite a bit of a mess this episode, and it seems like they're going overboard in their approach to Andy and how he wanted to get more recognized in his tribe. They were literally babysitting him. It was nice to see Andy looking and finding a beware advantage, but it was also a smart move for Sam to find it and take it. Unfortunately, everyone in that tribe now knows who has the idol. Well, except for Andy. During the challenge, it was sneaky and quite a great idea for Rachel to try to steal the rice from the challenge bag. I don't think there was a rule against that, and I feel like she should have been able to keep it because of how sneaky that move was. Not sure I would have thought about doing so, but I was wondering what could have happened if it had gone through. Lastly, TK took himself out with how he reacted at the end of the challenge, and he was starting to annoy his tribe with his attitude. I can see how they decided to vote him out based on that. All right, thanks, Jack. Up next, we have a call from Parker.
Hey, it's Parker from Indiana, and I love this episode. It was so much fun. I lost a safe point, but I will accept it for the sheer entertainment. First of all, with Gada, Andy not picking up that advantage might have been the best thing to happen to him. Because Sam now is like, why don't I play the idol on Andy? And Sierra's, but she'll go with it because she trusts Sam enough. And Sam's just in a great spot. Like, I think Annika might want him out, but then Andy, the only person he has right now is Sam. So he's not going to turn against him. Sierra's not going to turn against him because in the next on, we see Annika totally throwing them under the bus. And so Sierra's, no, heck no, I'm not going to work with you. And so she's kind of digging her own grave there. Okay. I loved what Sam was doing in this episode. And we also got a lot of Sam, but it didn't feel like too much because it was just so much fun. And the editing was amazing where it's just, I hate that I found it with Annika. So now I have to tell Sierra. And then flash to them looking for it. And then they're, Anika definitely told Rachel. And then he's, all right, I got to go tell Rachel. So the only person that didn't know was Andy. And then he's like, let me go tell Andy. So good. So much fun. Which puts Sam in a great spot. And then on the red tribe, Rome just digging his hole deeper and deeper. But it's so funny. I'm loving Rome. I don't know how long we're going to get him in this game, but it's great. Also, if it weren't for this idol mechanic, we probably would not know that Teeny and Kashan are that close until merge, because I'm assuming they're both going to make it. Now we know that. Now we have that scene that that's the person Teeny wanted to share about what Rome showed them. That's important information right there in like super entertaining way. And then this blue tribe, which is such an old school tribe. It's just like, this guy's running in the mouth. Let's get him out. Kind of like a Sean from Pearl Islands type deal where it's just, he's gone. And then Kyle is ripped straight out of Guatemala. He's just, I don't know strategy, but I'm here. It's so funny. So funny. And then Tiana absolutely ran this episode. She's the MVP. Gabe thinks he is, but Tiana, the actual MVP. Although I was really, gets you out. Because she just, she makes me uncomfortable. I'm sorry. There's too much going on her face. It's that too much Botox. It's uncomfy. And then Caroline is just roasting everybody, and then Gabe calling them little birds, and then you're like, what? What? But then I was gonna be, all right, Gabe, you buffoon. But then he makes a super smart move playing the idol, because at first you're like, that's a total waste. But if it did tie and went to rocks, he's safe. And so that's a great move for him. And then it would kind of force Tiana to flip in a tie if it did, because it's going to go to rocks. And then I'm pretty much screwed. So great move. Great move for him, but she's still the MVP. I love that. This is such a fun episode. That's all we got. I'll see you all next time.
Thanks, Parker. Even deeper insight into the benefits of Gabe's play. Cool. Next up, we got a call from Shahin.
Hi, Joe, Stacey, and Total Survivor fans. Hope everyone is well and safe. I'm back. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to put anything in for Jabik or episode 1. Jabik was done on purpose, though. I decided for this season that I wanted to try something different, and that was to not get so microscopic in how I observed the game. So previously I'd listened to Jabik. It was amazing. The both of you do amazing, and so do everyone else that comes in for Survivor fan feedback. I find that it helps me a lot going into a season, but I think this time around I really wanted to just absorb the game as it is. When I was younger, I didn't have access to these things, and it let me kind of just understand the players on a more natural level. And that's why this year I'm also not doing this season, sorry, I'm not doing the fantasy. So I'm not participating in that. Different for sure, but it means I also don't have a vested interest in any one individual. So I feel like I don't have that bias anymore, at least for this season anyway. Let's see how it goes. For episode 1, I just unfortunately had such a busy last few months, and including this week, lots of things just happening. I think I had 3 publications I've had to hand in or have either published, accepted, or do resubmissions for the last, I don't know, so often. It's a busy time at the moment in academia, so that's how it is. What do I think of the contestants, though? I think that we've got a really good bunch. I don't feel what I felt in the last 2 seasons. We don't have that Banu vibe, I feel. Even if we've got someone like Andy, I just feel like that Andy could be redeemable. We just have to give him time. I don't like how he was already treated. I get why. Gada, they have to do what they do with him and how he behaved. It was crazy what we saw in that first episode. I do have to agree with that. But the fact that they have him as an easy view, I get it, but maybe he does have some value, and I think Sam sees that. I do think Sam is playing with fire, though, having that and revealing that to Sierra. Now, let's see how that pans out. They could be building something there with that storyline. I feel like Kyle could be stuck, especially after the move that Gabe played. Props to him, props to Sue, and looks like Tiana could be the swing in that one. And go to Lavo, and I really like Sol. He hasn't had much screen time. Same with Teeny, but I really, really like Sol and Teeny. I've got some really good vibes from them, and I have good vibes from Lavo. But I do think Tuku could be in trouble, and only because they got rid of TK. They had to understand it. He made his own grave, so it is what it is. Great to be back, and thanks for all that you do. Cheers.
Cheers, Shahin. Great to have you back. Look forward to hearing how your experiment pans out, and good luck with all your research submissions. Next up, we got a call from Kim.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans. This is Kim from North Carolina. I'm calling in with just a quick note to say that I almost had to take a 3-point week this week, and I was thinking, oh no, this is karma for talking trash last week. But I had Sue safe and Andy going home, but whatever Gabe is up to, that saved me from a 3-point week. I'm happy that Yellow didn't lose again this week, because I don't like it when we lose a bunch of people from one tribe. The story they told this week seems so different from last week with regard to Gabe. It was like I was watching a completely different season almost, except for the Andy part, which looked kind of the same. Have a great week, everybody.
Excellent. Thanks, Kim. Next up, we got an email from Josh, the Plush Moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy, last week I predicted that TK would get TKO'd. Call me Nostradamus. My brain was tripping over that before I even got it out. Nostradamus. Okay. My other observations, Teeny Superpower is talking her way out of stuff. Her speeding tickets say otherwise. Rome wants a normal idol. I want to be an astronaut. Sue and Tiana should be a natural pair. One's a pilot, the other's a flight attendant. Andy wants recovery. I hope he has a 12-episode plan. Oh, goodness. Tuku's crab was large enough to be a kaiju. I hope Gada's fake cheers for Andy don't extend to aquadumps. Good job, Andy. Every time I see the name Tuku, my brain changes it to Tukus. Is that another Okay.
You are such a little boy.
Yes. Annika's wrong. Andy isn't a toxic, clingy boyfriend. He's a needy dog. Sam is as bad at babysitting as Roger Rabbit was with baby Herman. At home, Rome made fire in 15 seconds. On the island, he flamed out in 15 minutes. Sam wants to be Andy's buoy. Andy might become Sam's anchor. Yeah. Kashan made fire. Rome made a boo-boo face. Andy is so reactive, he needs control rods. Yeah, he's going to go nuclear before it's over, isn't he? Rome could have been an NBA player, a rapper, or a dancer. Debbie Wanner's yawning. The way Andy's mind bounces around, his favorite arcade game must be pinball. Sam, just touching the Beware Advantage scroll doesn't mean you have to keep it. Jeff says sprinting with cameras is more impressive than players sprinting on trails. Rachel wanted Sam to bring her water. Good thing his key wasn't in the well. Somebody in production really likes untying knots. Indeed. That is
Or maybe they like tying them.
The flip side, yeah. Birds have wings, so do angels. Will wounded birds become Gabe's angels?
Or they fly away and leave him.
Yeah. Sam kept the key in his sock. Dr. Seuss would have put the lock in his sock. It rhymes. Sue and Tiana know that ocean waves make better white noise than TK's running dialogue. Bro, bro, bro your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 TK's but a dream. Okay, there was direction to sing it. Sam wants to make big moves to win the game. Does he even watch the show? TK should know better. On Survivor, many smiles are fake. Who's more dangerous with a knife, Andy or Jeff? TK doesn't do well with losing. He must have been really bumming at Ponderosa. Indeed. Caroline gives me strong Emily vibes. Is this a new era archetype? Yeah, I see what you're saying there. There certainly could be something going on that they were shooting for with that casting. She's not who I expected her to be. She's so much more subdued. I guess she was making some of the same social mistakes, though, in the interaction. When Gabe came to her? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Tiana said that TK stands on his high horse. Is he a trick writer? Sam says he's an actor. Was he tree number 2 in a children's play? TK was a physical asset, but a social ass. Shoplifter Rachel should know better. Trader Jeff's Market has cameras everywhere. TK says he plays chess. Playing with your chessman cookies doesn't count. Gabe wants to be Indiana Jones. After the challenge, did he say, "Why is it always snakes?" That would have been perfect. More Culpepper math. A 3-man bromance in a tribe of 6 means girls are on the bottom. Gabe performed a magic trick. He made TK disappear. Indeed. Pilot Sue says she's a risk taker. Is she a barnstormer? Gabe burned his idol faster than Kashan started fire. A wrestling podcaster preaches the absence of irritants. TK down, Rome to go? Next time, Sam is pissed. Survivor Rome, and are Sierra and Sam dating? Will we see the premiere of Ponderosa Rome? Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thanks, Joanna Stacy, for all you do. Can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks, Josh. Good job, bud. Next up, we got a call from Justin.
Hey, Joanna Stacy and all the Survivor Super fans. It's Justin from Michigan. I don't have too much to say this week. I thought it was a solid episode, good challenge. Got some pretty good camp life in there. The way it was kind of crescendoing, I didn't mind to see TK go. Him and Rome kind of had similar episodes where they were both a little too big for their britches. So I think that tribe did make the right decision. I do feel bad for Kyle that he was kind of blindsided by that. One thing I did want to mention and get your thoughts on, did Gabe play his idol because of the possibility of a tie and going to rocks? So he wanted to make sure that if it went to rocks, he would still be safe. That's what I was thinking. I'm not sure if that was his intention or if he just wanted to get it out there. I think either way it's good. Just get it out there. People already suspected you. So either way I thought that was good. Just get that out so that you're not blindsided. People have the last couple seasons. Just wondering what your thoughts on that were, and I will talk to you guys next time.
I expected to have the season 46 idol fiasco have an impact on this season, and I do think we're seeing that. Like the choice to choose it only being good for one tribal council, I think could be a part of that too. But yeah, that in case of the tie, and going to rocks and him being safe and all the great analysis that we've had this episode. I think that's the primary reasons.
Yeah, and we didn't really have a clue in until after. But yeah, that's great, Justin.
Next up, we got a call from Jade-n-Christine.
Hi, Joanna and Stacey. This is Jade.
And Christine.
From Hawaii.
Aloha.
So we enjoyed all the time we got to spend in camp with all the tribe. I feel like we're getting to know them better. We're getting an idea of who's in whose alliance, who's got secrets, who's telling the secrets to everybody.
They're all telling them.
When will they learn? Don't tell someone about your idol, especially not in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Yeah, and Andy found an advantage and then he left the advantage. Mom keeps calling him my USB. But I keep saying, no, I have disowned him. I don't care what it says on JSFL. I've disowned him.
Oh, he might have like an arch, like an arc of like a story.
Yeah.
Might be.
He might, but if he keeps needing babysitting, I don't think he will. Sam, never leave the baby.
Don't leave the baby, right? Sam. Although it did work out for you this time.
That's true. It did.
Yeah. And my USB, Tiana, I really wonder if she made the right choice. She seems so emotional about it. Even though she was saying, I don't want to play emotionally. And she wanted to be more objective. But, you crossed that, sister. And she is... she's going to remember.
Yeah.
Tita's coming out.
Respect is a big thing here in Hawaii. So you disrespect, that's not okay.
Right. So
yeah. Plus, TK was just annoying.
He was annoying.
So I don't blame her.
I'm just worried because now she's on the bottom of that alliance with Kyle. I mean, I don't know if maybe she could still bring Kyle in with her and try to do something, but
but then the numbers are off. Yeah, she's in a tough place, I think.
Yeah,
I think Kyle will forgive her. Might give her another chance. He doesn't seem like the type to hold a grudge, but I don't know if that would even matter if they're 2 against 3 now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But obviously we need some help for next week making our choices.
Yeah.
So we're going to listen to listener feedback and just hope we can figure something out.
Yeah. Look forward to hearing everyone else's thoughts because we have no idea what to do.
Right.
Good deal. Thanks, Jade-n-Christine. I have the similar feeling. Not sure how it's going to go. I keep thinking, like this week I had Annika to go, and I keep thinking it's going to go that way, but I didn't see Blue losing either. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of think Annika might not make the merge now, but I hope Rachel does, but we'll see.
Yeah, good stuff. Next up, we got a call from Jen.
Hi, everyone. This is Jen in California, and here are my thoughts on Survivor 47, Episode 2. The Red Tribe seems to have very positive vibes. For the most part, we'll get to Rome later, but for the most part, they seem to be very positive, and I was wondering, given the fact that yellow and purple are always so negative, do you think that color theory has anything to do with the vibes of the tribe? Like, if you're red or blue, you just... the vibrancy of the colors give you a positive vibe, and maybe yellow or purple creates an overall negative kind of atmosphere. I know it's a thought that's really out of left field, but I was kind of thinking about that when I was watching this episode. That was a totally bad move on Teeny's part to not only tell about Rome's advantage, but to actually take somebody to it, open it up, and show it to them. Bad move. I wouldn't trust Teeny as far as I can throw her. But as far as Rome goes, though, the edit is not painting him in a very good light, and he's not helping the matter any either. He definitely gave them a lot to work with. What I wrote down in my notes is, if you've been to the moon, Rome has been there and back. We all know somebody like this in our lives where whatever you've done, they've done it and done it better and more often or farther or faster, and you just sit there and smile and nod. Rachel trying to steal the rice during the immunity challenge was very funny. With all those cameras around, and I'm sure Jeff has an earpiece, she was doomed, but good for her for trying. And I was not optimistic that TK was going to get voted out after the way he spoke after the challenge when they lost. I wanted him to be voted out for sure, because that is just completely unsportsmanlike, stabbing your team in the back, if you will. But as Survivor fans, we have been walked down this path before, where you have this arrogant, really strong guy whose team loses, and he goes on a rant about how he hates losing and everybody else on his team should hate losing, and it's just all very unsportsmanlike, but they keep him anyway because, he's strong. So I really thought that they were going to default and and go with Sue, who would be the easy vote out, but I'm pleasantly surprised that they voted TK out because that kind of attitude is very destructive, especially in a team that's so small. Only 6 players, you can't afford to have somebody who's tearing everybody down like that. So I'm excited to see the Blue Tribe's dynamic going forward, having voted out arguably one of their strongest people physically. So anyway, I'm going to say my winners of the week are Saul because he's so darn strong, and Gabe for getting TK out. And I have a lot of losers for the week. Teeny for her slobby gameplay, Rome for being socially unaware of how he's being perceived, Andy for botching the Beware advantage, and Gata in general for their overall dysfunctional communication with each other. I'm going to go right now and look up color theory and see what effect the color yellow has on the person who's wearing it. That's it for me. Can't wait to hear what everyone else has to say and their impressions. Till next week.
Good job. Thanks, Jen. I don't remember anything about yellow, do you?
We will look forward to hearing her explanation about it.
Oh, yeah,
week.
her analysis. I remember in psychology class, the only thing that stuck with me was pink, that it had a statistically significant impact, like putting people in a pink room and their performance.
Good, bad?
Well, subduing and lowering strength.
Because you go crazy about pink.
I don't go crazy.
You do, too.
That's...
I'm not wearing. Is that
hyperbolic.
pink? I'm not wearing pink. And when we had Zeke, you wouldn't let him wear a pink. We couldn't find anything but pink, and that was fine for Uma. But we had to go to another store to find a different water vest for Zeke because your son was not wearing a pink one.
Okay.
So, excuse me, I thought that was extreme.
I see. All right. Well, we have different gauges for measuring these things.
I rest my case.
We look forward to hearing what you find about yellow, Jen. Thanks. Next up, we got a call from Paul.
Hey, Paul, Louisiana here, and I guess I just have to start with the fact that Andy is, well, wow, I'm not sure what to say here. A child? I just don't understand how he got past any psychological testing that's supposed to be done before a player gets accepted onto this show. The entire camp scene where everyone was cheering him on was so uncomfortable to watch, especially because his tribe mates were so over-exaggerating everything, and he was just eating it up. It was so pathetic. It was like, Andy made rain in the potty. Yay! But of course, there's someone on his tribe, Sam, who thinks he'll be able to control him and use him throughout the game, but Sam couldn't keep his eye on him for just an hour or so before Andy slipped away. And come on, you just had to know that he was going to find that Beware advantage immediately, and even effortlessly. Anyway, Sam lucked out there because Andy left it for him to find later on. But later on, Sam thinks that Andy is super tight with him because Andy fessed up to him about finding the Beware advantage. But Sam, he told you because, yes, you're close, but let's face facts here. If you aren't there anymore, he's going to find someone else to confide in because he just can't do Survivor alone.
Bingo.
Don't think that he's going to be loyal because I really don't believe he will be. But, oh, I love the fact that Andy wants his mom to meet Sam because she thinks he'll love him. I'm just shaking my head here because, again, wow, unbelievable. Andy might be in a bromance here. Okay, enough of that. As for the episode itself, I have to say that it was certainly crammed with a whole lot of stuff into an hour and a half. There have been times in the past where I felt that episodes have been padded a bit, but not so this time. There was always some form of drama going on at the other tribes that kept me intrigued throughout. And then there was the challenge, and me, I love how everyone dived into the water from the first platform and started swimming. Save for Gabe, who walked through the water.
Yeah,
now,
I
can't say that I'm a Gabe fan, but why was everyone else trying to swim in water that was just barely above their waists? And, oh, how about when Gata walked into the challenge and Jeff revealed that it was John who was voted out? Andy had this ridiculous grin on his face and was waving as if to say, "Surprise, I'm still here." But you know what scared me? The way Andy assaulted that bag of rice with a knife. It was like a serial killer scene in a slasher movie. And I'm back on Andy again, aren't I? Okay, yeah, but I was so shocked when the yellow team not only didn't lose, but actually got through the challenge first. I was so sure this tribe would be forever losing. Now, my USB is Caroline, and I hate to say it, but I think that Gabe hit the nail straight on the head when he referred to her as a wounded bird because, yeah, I'm just not seeing the fire in her the way I did in her video. She's coming across to me as sort of sad and lowly. It's still a bit early, so who knows? At least she's not getting a purple Kelly at it like Genevieve is. I think I saw her doing a puzzle in the challenge, but hey, when you have Rome on your team, it's going to be tough to get any camera time, I suppose. So, next to go, well, I would like to say Rome, but he does have an idol. So, how about Kyle? You know, the guy's a loner now, and to be honest, I'm not as thrilled with him as I thought I would be before the show started either. And then there's Anika, who could become another casualty of Andy's lack of chutzpah. The sad thing is, she's actually worried about Andy outlasting players that do belong there. So, yeah, I really don't have a definite next out, but I do know that I am picking Andy as safe because I don't believe he's going anywhere soon. It's just how this scenario usually plays out. And I guess that's it for me. Everyone take care and enjoy the next episode. Bye.
Excellent. High-risk safe points right there. You got it straight from Paul. Choose Andy.
But you gotta stop calling gotta. You just gotta, because it's going to mess me up.
Oh, okay. So
sorry, Paul.
What do you think is going to happen next? Who's going next? Do you have a prediction for us?
Lordy.
Which way you leaning?
Do we know what the challenge is at all?
I hadn't
There's
looked
a puzzle
at anything.
or this, or
Hadn't
we
looked
don't
yet.
know if it's physical at the end or a puzzle or a maze. They're doing a lot of different things, and I like that, but it doesn't help predict anything in the challenge. But
we're still in the stage of the game where there's a lot of physicality required.
Yes, that's
why
true.
people are worried that getting rid of TK is going to hurt Tuku, the blue tribe.
Yeah, well, that could be true. Let's see. Wow. I think Annika is in danger if they go.
Yeah.
Well, they can't get Rome out unless they can blindside.
That was a great idea. Could you get him to play as idol for someone? Could Teeny do that? Now, that would be a demonstration of her social skill.
I believe if she tried to do that after what happened, he would see through it.
She might have poisoned that well. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think he's going to buy any of that now. So but
you could certainly butter
get rid
him.
of Teeny because of it.
Yeah, you could certainly butter him up and say, well, we know you're going to find another one. Look how you nailed this one. You'll have another one before the sun sets again.
If she tried that, I would just say, okay, well, let's get everybody to vote for you, and then I'll play my idol for you.
I don't know if he's that savvy. That would be an interesting turn. Yeah.
I do think that...
you think Kyle's going to go if Tuku ends up back there again?
I don't think so. I think Tiana's not going to go for that. She's going to... I believe she really wants to work with Kyle.
TK did say in his exit interviews that Kyle was like the communications guy. He was basically... everything was running through Kyle.
I would be more worried about probably Sue because... she keeps talking about being fatigued and needing to rest. And yes, she's very strong, but you just don't have the same stamina as the younger ones do. But they like her, and Caroline could even go. I could lose her because I'm not seeing her as being as personable, and she's a little more cautious. But I think probably Sue's in danger. I don't think Andy's in danger, unfortunately. I think more Annika.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it could be from one of those two, Sue or Annika.
Okay, there you go.
How about you?
I'm concerned about Kyle, my USB. I'm concerned if he can recover quick enough. And it really just depends on the other folks more than what he's going to be able to do because he's so lost. I certainly think it's possible for that group to sort of redefine. It'll be interesting to see if Andy's able to maintain his control, his invisible connections and control.
Okay.
Because they could restructure. It sort of depends on how Tiana responds.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
I do not believe Kyle's in danger because, for one thing, if they get rid of Kyle, they're in deep trouble. to lose every other challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that. Yes, Tiana's strong. Yes, Carolyn's strong. But Sue is strong. She just, again, doesn't have the stamina.
Mm-hmm.
And she's limited. She's very short.
Right.
If they have something when they have to, she could be at a disadvantage. And I do not think they would let go of Kyle and hang on to Sue.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the physical challenges.
I'm looking forward to seeing how they react, how that
Yes.
group of
Yes.
5 restructures after that. That's going to be really interesting to observe. There's opportunities for people to step up and stand out, but maybe Gabe keeps his hand on everything too. So
Well,
that's exciting to
he
think
doesn't
about.
have an idol anymore, so what power does he have?
He's got an alliance with Sue and Caroline.
Yeah, but Caroline...
And they reached out to Tiana. That's why there's a possible redefinition, a shuffling of the power in that tribe.
But we also know that Caroline didn't 100% trust Gabe before. Maybe she does now, and maybe that alliance will hold tight. And that could cause an issue. But I still kind of think she would side with the others to keep the tribe strong so they didn't continue going back, because I think she figures, well, after Sue, they might send me home.
It seemed like Sue and Caroline made that connection with Tiana, so they might redefine the power structure if they choose Kyle over Gabe, for example, and they can come up with an idol.
Yeah, I actually think that they might think Gabe's a little more sketchy than Kyle.
If nothing else, I mean, you can't blame him, but at the same time, he found the idol. And he was suspected, but he found it and played it. So that makes him more dangerous than all of them. They didn't do that.
True. So
I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out for sure.
They could get rid of Kyle. You never know.
Yeah, and how long till Andy explodes again? We'll see. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate those of you who took your time to share your thoughts and predictions with us. We enjoyed it, appreciate it. You made us think, got us thinking already. And we'd like to say a special thank you to Hope for your donation. Thank you so much for that. We greatly appreciate your continued support that goes to our operation costs, and it's a big help. Thank you so much, Hope.
And if you play in JSFL, don't forget to make your Week 3 picks for 1 person voted off and 4 people who you think will still be safe at the end of the episode. Well, anything else you want to cover?
Looking forward to the next one. We'll be back on Wednesday or around Wednesday with our recap. Have a good one.